This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you in part by the Daily Herald.
Coach Jon Grzbek of the Benet hockey team. We're here in the locker room. You guys have had tremendous success this year in this program that's about 10 to 12 years old. What's really been the key to it for you guys? The record right now that stands at 22-9-1.
Well, the uniqueness of it. I think, Coach Andrew and my coaching staff have been together for 3 years now. A lot of those seniors have been together on this team for 3 and 4 years now. And we essentially brought a group of sophomores now getting some of the benefits of playing together for the last 3 years. Uniqueness, we're in a locker room that was built this year specifically for the long term of this club. Mm-hmm. There's very few high schools that have this, and what a great experience for the kids.
How much of it had been kind of getting some of the best players that go to school at Benet already but are playing some different types of hockey into this program and kind of showing them the high school hockey way? How much of that was a part of it?
A lot in the beginning. We really didn't have the attraction or the leagues or the competitiveness that some of those kids were looking for. And, depending on where you play high school hockey depends on the experience. So when Coach Andrew and myself and the coaching staff and the board got together, it was to really lay out a program that could be a tremendous experience for the kids. Once we made it through that first year, some successes, some recognition started to attract more kids. We formed a JV team, started to attract more kids. They see each other at school wearing the Benet jerseys on Fridays and just having a great time together. So I think that that became the attraction for the kids, not so much things that we did, but so much of their experience.
This is the second season the Red Wings are a full member of the Chicago Catholic Hockey League. You played at Marist. Marist is one of the schools in the Catholic League. How strong is the competition that you guys are seeing night in, night out compared to your first year here when only a half a season schedule, that you guys can point to that now that, we're playing some of the top teams in the Chicago area, in our league 24 times a year?
So let's start with where you finished there. The Catholic League is probably the best league in the state. It's a coaches-run league. If there are any issues or anything, it gets handled by the coaches, and we think that we do a great job with the league. In order for Benet to get in there had to be some consistency in the program, and that's what we did the first year was, show that we can play and compete with those clubs. Where it ends up, consistency, the Catholic League typically has 4 out of the top 10 teams over the last 3 years. They've made it to the Final Four several times. They've had state champions over the last 3 and 4 years. So, we feel that we fit very well into that league. It's a unique experience. And, being able to come back here after playing at Marist so many years ago has been, tremendous. The way to give back to the league.
You have 8 seniors on this roster, kind of a big core of guys that you said have kind of been here as sophomores when you guys came in as a coaching staff. How much have they kind of contributed to, you talk about the Catholic League, you guys are 14-2-1, knocking off some of these St. Rita's, the St. Viders, the guys that have really ruled the roost in this league the past 5 years.
Those sophomores that you talked about prior to this year had never beaten a St. Rita, had never beaten a Fenwick, had never beaten a Marist, even a Providence. So they are getting the benefits of being together and growing up and, going from being that 14 to 15-year-old kid to now they're 18-year-olds. And I think that all the success of this team is because of that core group of sophomores that is now seniors. No question.
Definitely, and you look at, the offensive output you guys have put out, the number of goals per game has been really amazing to watch. I know a couple guys that contributed, Christopher Coyne, Christopher Ernstein, Billy Tumpain, Joe Feldman, all have 20-plus points. How much has these guys being able to be together and really letting their skills kind of flourish together really helped you guys on the offensive end?
What's been really unique, so seeing them grow as sophomores to juniors and seniors, every year they have gotten faster. And our speed of those players, also the Brendan Geesiers, Chris Haugen, the speed is probably really unique to the state, I will say that. That's why we've been successful against St. Rita's. They still think of us as the Benet that never had beat them before, but yet we come out and we have these leading scorers, the Chris Coynes, the Billy Tumpains, and 200-some games together, we'll do that.
When you have that kind of speed, strategy-wise, how do you guys attack the other team offensively?
That's. I will say this: we actually more focus on the defensive side. We see the forecheck uniquely in that our forecheck is actually our first step in our defense. So there are layers of that forecheck. And when a team gets past one layer or is doing something that gets past one layer very easily, I can now make some adjustments to the forecheck. And they can adjust, and very rarely can a team adjust against what we've been able to bring. So, 200 games together, players know where they're expected to be, and they're executing very well, both on the forecheck and on the defensive side of things.
And we talk about the defense. You guys have done a great job that end as well. Who are some of the defensemen that we're maybe not really hearing about? Because you hear about the goal scorers. Right. Who are a couple of those guys on the back end that are really, being a part of that stout defense and really, stopping the enemy when they come into your zone?
So we've talked about the forwards, the coins, the guys that score the goals, but there is also that set. There's the Jack Yondelis. He's been with me for 3 years. He's as strong as any kid on his skates, and a very, very physical force out there. There's a Michael Galat, who's a junior, who's the one freshman that I took my first year here. So he's gone up. This will be his 3rd year of playing varsity. He's a tremendous kid. There's a Chris Haugen, who's a senior too, strong as anything, and he's had the benefit of playing with everyone. I don't want to cut anyone else short, but there's a group of juniors that went through my JV program that one of the things about the JV program was that there's a consistency in the systems throughout the entire program. So they've gone freshman and sophomore years to JV. Now they slid right into their junior year, and they've made a great impact. As soon as so there wasn't much gap in them being able to move to the varsity level, and that includes a Chris Wetland, a Kevin Carroll, and a Kevin Sunyog on the offensive side too.
And the other guy, the last line of defense, Kevin O'Hara. How fun has it been to watch him this year? His goals against is just above 2. He's been a guy that's really made some big saves that we've seen in some very important stretches for you guys.
He has been huge, and I think that he's probably worked as hard as anyone has to get in 2 years where he's at today. I like to think that we don't always rely on goaltenders because there's 18 things that happen before a puck gets to the net. But he's played great, and again, just a tremendous kid. He's the only sophomore on the varsity team. Putting a lot of pressure on a kid, but he's handled it great.
Reading your guys' website and a lot of the things that are important to this program. One is sending guys off to college. You had 6 seniors last year, all 6 going to college. 2 of them playing college hockey. How neat is that to kind of see that Benet hockey's putting some college players out there?
So in the beginning, when we first started talked about some of the recognition and rewards and awards of that, and I just see that as just a extension of the program. There's no question that if anyone leaves that has played in this program, they can go on and play should they choose to do that. Or if they want to go play juniors, I also have kids doing that as well. Benet being an academic school, they do have some unique opportunities in the schools that they get into. So it's just an extension of the program. What's really unique about that too is that now we start having alumni games and kids coming back and telling seniors and recruiting kids to go to their college, believe it or not. So I've seen that progress over the last 2 years as well.
Got the Catholic League tournament coming up, the Kennedy Cup. How do you keep these guys focused? There's still 4 league games left. You guys are strongly in 2nd place right now, but how do you kind of keep them focused, keep them looking forward to that as one of your guys' biggest goals this year?
That's a great question because the way we look at our schedule from here on out, we have a great opportunity, and that leads into the Catholic League. You build towards the end of the year. One of the things we do is we just finished a tournament with the Lake Forest Prep Academy and spent all weekend up there. We played that as if it was our last games. You lose, you're out. We're continually challenging the kids. We scheduled some more games with Loyola Gold and some other top 10 teams in February as we go towards the end of this year, just to keep sharp.
One of those things that just play up to your competition, see what these guys have. So when you do get to the postseason,
that's absolutely right. There's no tomorrow in that postseason. So you have to approach those games like some of these games it will end with, like there's no tomorrow. Finishing is a big deal, and they need to finish.
Saw a state tournament up here on the board. You guys looking forward to that? I know, the real action of it doesn't come around till the end of February, but you start off with Naperville North. You guys getting 11 seed is a little bit of maybe a chip on the shoulder there for the Red Wings?
You know, I think to the kids it is, but to the coaching staff it's not. I thought that was a very fair seed. I think that any of those top 10 teams can beat each other on any night, and we're the 11th. So where does that leave us? You know, I'm okay with that. I do like who we have to play first. We did see them earlier on in the year. The fact that a lot of our kids have played with those kids will make it that much more of a great game. You know, essentially we're neighbors in the same town, so it's going to be fun, a lot of fun. And really, we don't look past it from there. You don't make it past that first round, you haven't even made the state playoffs yet. And, you know, we'll worry about that once we schedule that next game.
As we look forward, you kind of stress the defensive side of things for you guys, starting with the forwards on the forecheck, the back check as well. Is that going to be something that's going to be really kind of determines your guys' fate maybe in these crucial part of the season here coming up next month, month and a half?
Yeah, so when we start the season out, those are really the system things that we start to work on. And as you play more games and have more situations, you get better at that stuff. So it's not really about refinement of those forechecks or changing any of that. It's more of refinement on the little things of the game, the face-offs, the puck control part of the game, getting better at that. Even reviewing films continually is a big part of the end of the season.
Maybe staying out of the penalty box a little bit too.
Yeah, that's I think high school hockey in itself. You have to have discipline. It's one of the things we put up on the board over there: discipline and emotion.
Well, John, we appreciate you having us here at Seven Bridges. Good luck in these next couple weeks, and thanks for letting us come by.
Well, thank you guys. You guys have been a big part of the season.